Hello and welcome to a live stream on twitch.tv/MarcelVos. How are you doing tonight? Welcome Mr. Twallafart, Major Geeks, Live Lop, Mr. Vedros, Annie LL, everyone else who is here. How you doing? On this frankly drab day. I've not minded it, I've been working indoor anyway, but it's been drab today, hasn't it? If you're in the Netherlands anyway. Sun was out for a little bit this morning, but we got a lot of rain. And apparently, we're gonna get a lot more rain as well the coming days. Which is good. It's good for the ground, I guess. But it's not good for people who like to be outside. In the long term, maybe it will be though. Anyway, is there any way to appeal a ban on your Discord server? My Discord account got compromised recently and I got banned from yours. I can. Do you still have the ability to DM me? Because I guess just join the OpenRT2 server, DM me, and we'll see. Because I can't say anything about it now, whether I don't even know what happened. So I guess I would say join the OpenRT2 server. I got banned from that one too. Well, good going, I guess. I don't know at the moment. I can't say anything about that. What was your? I'll write it down. I'll write down your. What was your username? Because I'll look at it later, not right now. Good afternoon. Who's ready to have their face torn off by simply going on a roller coaster? We're going to do normal stuff today. At least, you know, non-deadly stuff. Doesn't have to be normal. Dr. Orange. Alright, I'll write that down and I'll... Dr. Orange. I'll see what's happened and, I don't know, maybe next live stream or whatever. We can discuss it again, see what happens. So, last video, which was about, what's it called, how all the maps are the same. Like, for example, Dynamite Dunes. You got this big, massive hill. And then if you open up, well, Forest Frontiers, you got the same big, massive hill. But ones that are easier to recognize is called Pacific Pyramids. Because that one also got a big, massive hill. And there was another one on the desert one called Southern Sands, which also has the same big, massive hill. And someone called I'm Legos made a scenario which combined the three desert scenarios. Now that was not as a result of my video, because that was done a long time ago already. Don't know exactly when, but today, or a few days ago, last week something, I don't know. They posted it as a scenario with some updates. And we're going to play that today. So this is Southern Pacific Dunes. You ever noticed how Dynamite Dunes, Pacific Pyramids and Southern Sands all use the same map? Well, I'm Legos did, and now he created this mess. Good luck. Ah, that was created originally in 2024. Although it was updated last week. Or this week, I don't know exactly. And the objective is to get 3,000 guests in 4 years. That is not a combined thing, because the combined thing should be higher, because I know Southern Sands is 2,300. Pacific Pyramids is 650. That's already 2,950. And I know Pacific Pyramids, or like Dynamite Dunes was 650. I know Pacific Pyramids is not 50. I think it's 900. Let's see. 1,000. So that would be technically 3,950. Well, we can probably do that too. So, Southern Pacific Dunes. You got a mess of paths because he combined the paths as well as he could. Basically, you got the big hill here. And then this is the wooden coaster from Southern Sands. This is the mine train coaster from from Dynamite Dunes, sorry. This is some of the scenery from Pacific Pyramids. This is also a scenery from Pacific Pyramids. The other pyramids was apparently no space for. And then here we got another coaster from Southern Sands. Of course, a monorail as well, which is in the halls. And we got 3 entrances, which is that one's the Pacific Pyramids entrance, that's the Southern Sands entrance, and that's the... Sorry, that's Dynamite Dunes. I keep calling Dynamite Dunes Pacific Pyramids. Left is Dynamite Dunes, middle is Southern Sands, on the right is Pacific Pyramids. Although, I do believe this entrance is actually kind of rather here. It's just that the border of Southern Sands goes this far, so that's why the entrance is there. Either way, it's a bit of a mess. Yeah, you know what, but that's about an advertising too, Mr. Vedrils. Why not? So, we already got 4 rides. Let's go hardcore on the research, I always like doing that. Do we need scenery or theming? We have enough. Do we need shops or stalls? Yeah, maybe. Could use perhaps a first aid room. Don't need transport. We got gentle. We got quite a lot of roller coasters. Don't need roller coasters. Yeah, I don't need shops and stalls either. Okay, merry-go-round time. I think harder gas generation might be on actually. Hang on, let's check if it's on. Oh, we can check that actually. No, solve gas cup calculator. 395 harder gas generation is not enabled. Right? Yeah, that one should trigger it, so would trigger it, but it's not high enough for gas generation, harder gas generation to be enabled. So therefore, it's not. Flame gas for this one that would also trigger it, which would result in a much higher soft gas cap. The reason I'm asking is because Southern Sands has it. And therefore, I thought this might have it as well. You know what? I'm my own boss. Harder gas generation is enabled. Yay! That actually makes it easier. Because we're not advertising. So actually, I'm going to disable it again. Because I'm not going to spam micro coasters anyway. And my big coasters are only going to become more overpowered if I enable it. So I've just got to keep it off to make it harder. Which is very counterintuitive, but that's kind of how it works. I was for a second going, hang on, wasn't there a pirate ship in Southern Sands? But no, there isn't. This icon is from Southern Sands. It's taken in Southern Sands. You can see that mesh fence, which is that mesh fence. I think it was placed exactly there. You can see that path. That's not, we read it correctly. You know, why not put it in the correct position? Hang on, what was it exactly? Yeah, there. Which is not great for the queue line. But we can figure something out. That'll do. Do we have the mine theme? Yes, we do. So we got that one there. That one there. And then we've pretty much recreated the entire thing. It's not hard. Also, thank you for the 16 months mystery mission. By the way, question, Nico. How exactly did your account get compromised? Did you click anything? Because as far as I know, people don't randomly get access to your account. Okay, we do gotta do something about these terrible paths. This one can just go. That one seems to be almost connected. So let's connect it. Might as well do an extra connection here. Yeah, people do be loving to click suspicious links. Okay, well this can't really be a mess because this is all certain sands anyway, which was fine, I believe. I do think that a bunch of like these little paths are connections made by Legos anyway to make it slightly more good. Is that connected up? Hang on. I don't think that connects anywhere. No. This path doesn't connect anywhere. I did click something, not sure what. Windows Defender did warn me hours later after I did, so not sure what I did exactly. Do you remember where you clicked it? If losing your account was as easy as just reading a message, then that would imply a security issue in the Chromium engine, which would mean it existed in most browsers, which would be big trouble for everyone. Yeah, just reading a message, like just opening an email or something, even if it's obviously from a scammer, that doesn't really make any difference. That's not gonna work. You have to actually click on something. Speaking of scammers, I got the most hilarious scam message. Hang on. I'll pull it up. Because it's a chain of 4 emails that I professionally ignored. So the first one... Oh, I can only see... Hang on, let me see if I can... No, I can't find his first 2 emails. Which he said 4 days ago. But 4 days ago I got an email. Which basically said, I want to make you an extra 10k a month. Keep in mind, I don't make 10k a month, not even close. I make a living, but not 10k. He said, we download, manage, clip, protect, post, and do everything Spotify related for you. What am I gonna do on Spotify anyway? I don't make music or podcasts or anything like that. He wanted me to schedule a call with him. Oh, I do see an earlier email here. Yeah, apparently Hugshein is a creator they're working with since December and they make over 10,000 a month. Yeah, they got 4.7 million subscribers. So apparently they work with this channel, which does podcasts, I guess, on Spotify now. They're not getting that much views on YouTube. I guess they're a shorts creator. Yeah, that makes sense that they got their subscribers from shorts with 25 million on the most popular. Anyway, the funny thing is they say up to 10,000. No, literally, Marcel Vos, I want to make you an extra 10,000 a month. Like, I don't have 4.7 million subscribers. I have 192,000. And then their last email, which was just 48 minutes ago, which is completely ridiculous, says, this will be my last email to you. I don't want to be one of those guys that spam you, but I do want to get your attention. I'll give a little background about who I am, what I do. My name is something. I'm 17 and I like making people money. And then I've worked with creators on their own channels, the biggest being the Botes sisters. I own New Studio, a Chrome extension for YouTube Studio, The Network, a Discord community for creators, Text Chess, a comedy educational messaging / chess channel. I made creators over 500,000 in 2025 and now I have a new way, Spotify. Yeah, sure. That is completely ridiculous. That sounds fishy. No way! No. Nah. What do you mean that sounds fishy? No, it's completely legitimate. Yes. I mean, I've already responded. We're going to do a deal. I'm going to be rich, folks. It's ridiculous, right? I get tons of those messages. Like, for example, hang on, Duckify Park. Gonna add some water first. I'm not sure if I don't think I've gotten these yet, but in the YouTube creators Discord that I'm in, there people sometimes share fake copyright claims that they get, which are often hilariously bad. But apparently people fall for them. Because why else would they keep doing it? Right? Don't answer any random messages. I mean, it's my business email, you know. There are legitimate reasons to answer messages. I'm currently in talks with a sponsor that might or might not happen. I can't guarantee anything, I won't say who it is. You'll see when it happens, if it happens, but obviously there's a good reason to answer messages. Logflume, can you name it just desserts? Yes, that's very fitting. And I will also sometimes respond to just people asking a question. Like there was a guy who was writing an article and asked for my thoughts on like RCT Classic, something like that. There was another YouTuber, Professor Viral, who asked me for my opinions on some stuff, which turned into some weird 1 AM rambling from me. So, you know, there's a good reason to respond to emails, just not the scammy ones. Speaking of Merry Grant broken down, we should hire some staff to deal with that. It's suddenly so quiet, isn't it? Should hire some staff to deal with that. To deal with that, hires handyman. Hey, I've hired 2 mechanics too. I didn't hire just handyman. More boats. 24 boats. God, I love a good log flume. What do we actually charge for, right? I guess we can choose, because it's RST1. Since we don't have an ATM, presumably, I am going to charge for the entrance. So I'm just gonna make all the rides free. Guests are getting lost or stuck. What a surprise. Hey, that one was max price. I chose that one. I don't have the price manager on. I don't even have it loaded. So that was already done. There we go. How rich are these folks? That was a 60er. 50er. 60. 50. 70. 70, so either a 40 or an 80. 60, 50, 50, 50. Where's the final one? 50, 40. There we go, finally. We're going to charge, yeah, 40. You know what, I'm also going to charge for the rides. Just to make sure people get broke extra quickly. Not as much, because you can't, but just a little bit. And we can do like $3 for this one. Oh, thank you for the 17 ones, Tucker Pride. Poor overcrowded ducks. Overcrowded? You ain't seen nothing yet. Hang on. Gotta make it more overcrowded. I saw the interview with the local radio was very good. Did they also email you or did they contact you in a different way? My mom contacted them. So basically they have like a line where you can, a place where you can send in tips about stuff. And my mom basically sent in the tip, but hey, I have a son who does YouTube and it's cool. Could be a cool story. Basically, he lives in Drenthe now, so you can do it now, because before that I did not live in Drenthe. I had moved like a month prior. Next guest looks thirsty. Yes, they do. Where's the next one? That's the next one. And they were like, yeah, sure. So my mom gave them my number. So they just called me. And then the next time, about when I cycled the entirety of Maple, I just got a message from the same person, because she still had my number, if we could do something about speed skating commentary, because she recalled I did that. But I had already quit with that, so that was not going to work. But then I said, well, it just so happened that a few days ago, I finished my project of cycling every single road in Maple. Are you interested? And so a week later, that had happened. That's a lot of the ducks to click on for the feathers. That is Rollercoaster Tycoon 3, my friend. Not Rollercoaster Tycoon 2. Learn the difference. Let's do a junior coaster. Actually, first let's color this thing. And dark purple boats. I like that. What about ducks on RST3? Well, if you click on them, I'm not sure if it's once or multiple times, but if you click on them enough times, then their feathers explode off of them. It's a probability thing. Yeah, that makes sense. Wait, junior coaster? Shouldn't this be the steel mini coaster? For accuracy. It's pretty much the same, right? But still technically different, because this one doesn't have steep slopes, for example. Oh, we already have an info kiosk. Well, now we have double. These are going to be quite expensive. Everything's going to be expensive. Because I want people to sod off as soon as possible. Oh, that's why they got lost. Whoops. The stupid thing is that I realized I knew about this and I forgot. Because I experienced the same problem of this path not connecting to anything when I recorded the footage for last video. Wait, there's a path there? Oh, that's just a single path, please. And yet, I forgot about it now. That's also why this ride didn't get fixed. The mechanic that was heading for it was trapped. Bathrooms, info kiosks, and why not a nice balloon store? That pre-built coaster used a secret 2x2 banked slope piece. Yeah, I guess it does. Or, well, unbanked to bank. It's the banking turn. We should color this one first. Also for efficiency, I'm just gonna change that. It was a key feature of the wooden twister that was introduced in Corkscrew Follies. Makes sense to show it off. Yeah, in my old video about it, I called it kind of the forgotten track piece, which is maybe not entirely fair, but I'm pretty sure it is kind of the track piece that the least amount of people know about. And you can only build it in a very few select circumstances. Only a few coaster types have it available. And OpenRC2 is quite a few more now. My videos used to be so much simpler. I could make like a 4-minute video about one particular track piece. You know, raffle off a few facts and that would be it. Now it's all got to be 20-minute think pieces about the inner machinations of Chris Sawyer's mind or whatever. I mean, next video is going to be a 23-minute ride overview. I think my longest ever, if I remember correctly. To be fair, this is a double ride overview, about 2 rides, so I kind of got an excuse. God, I love those kind of spirals. They inspire roll me. Right. 3 laps will do. Though now that I think about it, this might be the only pre-existing ride in all of RCT1 that uses the piece, and it's not even a Corkscrew Follies scenario. No, because it's Loopy Landscapes. I mean, it's really rarely used. Colors. That's better. Just some bright colors. And we already got a lot of people leaving because they be broke and stuff. I think at this rate we're never gonna hit our soft guest cap. Which should already be well high enough, because we currently got 360 guests. Yeah, 850. So at this rate, we are making as much money as we possibly can. Oh, look at that, they're all watching the pyramid. Not any. Well, if I place it there, they can still watch it. If I place it on the other side, which I can't. If I place it there, they can still. No, wait, they can't. It was if I could place it on the other side, they could still watch it. No more watching the pyramid. It's off limits. You're not to get distracted by Mr. Pyramid. Downhill into a sharp corner seems dangerous. They'll be fine. These wheels, these go-kart wheels have infinite traction, you know? Do we have any awards running? No. I don't really know what I need for best staff by heart. I would like some awards. Could just build a few more gentle rides. Do I need 6 or 10? I think I need 10 gentle rides. Which is quite a few, but we can just spam like a few haunted highs and stuff. But we qualify for that award. And of course, a Ferris wheel. Let's go like this. Oh, we got a splash bounce. Neat. Did you know that there's a theory that the pyramids were never meant to be tombs built by the Egyptians? The theory is that it was built as some sort of energy generator from an advanced civilization that collapsed, and the Egyptians simply discovered them centuries later. You know, there's also a theory that I am actually a 15-foot donkey. I just made that up, but I have as much evidence for it as there is for the theory you just mentioned. We'll keep this one free. That exit is blocked. Now it isn't. I now believe that theory. You should, because I am totally a donkey. What's the best place for this? That'll do. Do we have 10 gentle rides now? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We need one more Ferris wheel. Well, not specifically a Ferris wheel, but I'm going to make it one more Ferris wheel. Okay, now we can do that award. I heard the theory that the pyramid shape is the most stable way to make a pile of rocks. Now that is a theory I could believe in. Actually. How much can we borrow? It's 3% per year. All the Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 scenarios have a 1% per year. Did time Legos just triple it because we got 3 scenarios? Also, 15k is not a lot. We're kind of about to run out of cash. Because we're just not making a lot of money. Like, our gas spawning is as high as it can possibly be. There is no way for us to make more money. There's only a way for us to spend less money. I mean, we could advertise, of course, but yeah, assuming we're not advertising. And yeah, it doesn't look like a lot of guests, but remember, this is only a third, because we got 3 entrances. Because we also got guests going in here. And guests going in here. Wait, I think it might be a 4th. Because it's about spawning points, not entrances. So we appear to have 4 spawning points. You could have originally made this as an RST2 scenario, so it got assigned a different rate. Yeah, use the RST2 twister, train style and track. Yeah, you know, we got the junior, we got the non-helmet ones. It's made in 2024, so that stuff was definitely available. I think it was just updated in 2024. Oh, good point. That was about an update. Yeah, that was a note. Updated paths to RST1 equivalent. Yeah, good point. It might have been older than that. Hang on, if I look in the Open RST2 Discord server for Southern Pacific Tunes, what's the oldest message? 2021. Say hello to Southern Pacific Dunes. Oh. That's when he said, I already have a scenario that was 3 in 1. That was around the time the new save format got added. So this is quite old. Thank God Marcel is on. I needed to relax before the afternoon lecture I gotta administer to a wildly disinterested classroom of students. Just make me do the lecture and they'll be interested. What's it about? Can I do it? Do I know anything about the subject? Splash boats over the duck pond. We can visit the duck pond. I'll go down first. Need 1 more unit of height. Oh, apparently we were fine. Well, now we got a little extra unit of height. Algorithm analysis, basically. Okay, I mean, I know a little bit about algorithms. I program a bit, but I don't really know what exactly algorithm analysis is. Is it just that you get an algorithm in front of your face and be like, what it do? And then your students need to discern what it do? It's like complexity analysis and correctness proofs. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do that. That's not quite up my alley. Hello, so you stream, not doing YouTube only? Yes, I've been streaming for about 5.5 years. I'm still mostly a YouTuber though. I stream 5 hours a week. I do YouTube currently about 50 hours a week, I think. Can't believe I've been following you on Twitch for 3 years already. Time flies, like the ducks are going to do soon. Yes, time does fly. I mean, I can't believe it's been 5.5 years. It's completely ridiculous. How am I actually going to return to this? Yeah, whoops. Go delete some of this stuff. Okay, now we have space to return. Five hours a week only. No wonder I just found you. I mean, I'm very consistent. I've been streaming on Sunday and Wednesday evening for 5.5 years. Let's do this properly. Well, we don't actually need the long queue line. Because it's not like we have enough guests to actually do something with it. Because this ride can store 496 guests. That's nearly everyone in the park. Where are you from? I can't put my hand on your accent. Okay, so if I talk like this, is it clearer where I am from? Because right now I'm really exaggerating the accent. Or maybe you just don't know the accent and therefore you don't know where I am from based on how I am speaking right now. Canada or Français? That's not a French accent. I'm sure the French, any French that are in here are very offended. It's definitely not a French accent. Ah, je suis le Français, le roller coaster tycoon. Oh, hang on. Haha! Bateau éclabousseur 1. La palette de couleurs principale. C'est la pyramide. C'est la toilette. Le bar burger. Not a burger bar, a bar burger. A buffet. A point info. Montagne russe junior 1. Montagne russe is Russian mountain. Montagne, you know, from Mont Blanc. Montagne, mountain. They call them Russian mountains. This is montagne russe en bois. One is Just grunt if you want to say one in French. Just Dynamite blaster est tombé en pan. En pan. Grande roue. Oh. The glacier. I actually quite like that. Glacier sounds good. Toboggan Spirale 2. What's the objective? 3,000 guests. Which we're not at all on our way to make it, but we'll be fine. We can always advertise if we need to. Let's put a ballade au bateau in the thing, because I'm French now. I need to do this. Oh, there go the ducks. It's Septembre année 1. $3,000 guests. I think you mean 3,000 visiteurs. Yes. 3,000 visiteurs pour moi. Hang on, did he? Oh, wait. Save. Ah! Dynamite. Pyramide Pacifique. Et... Sable Austral. Wait, Southern is Austral? I mean, it makes sense. Australia kind of means southern land. Cool. Put RCT in French. Are you paying attention? It's been in French for the past 5 minutes. You did while I was typing. How long did it take you to type that? Or was that an old message? No, that was way after I did Le Bar Burger thing. How long did it take you to type that? Construction, direction, huh. Those are words we know. And then it's like entrée, sortie. Not a 3D Cinema 1, but Cinema 3DE. No exit path on the log flume. Wow. So far, that has not any negative consequences. Oh, by the way, Mo Jardon, I'm Dutch. Just so you know. I thought it would be nice to eventually let you know. Maybe someone else already did in the chat and I haven't seen it. Oh, I think this is too expensive. No! Mon euro est génial. Oh, it's free. It's gratuit. I did make it gratuit. Good. Maybe it was already gratuit. I swear Dutch English accent sounds Français or Swedish. I mean, Swedish kind of makes sense because both Germanic languages, but French, like I know what the French English accent sounds like and I don't hear it, sorry. Like, not at all. Duckify Park, and we do the new ducks, which... Oh, that doesn't quite fit. Créer canards. Hang on, I'm gonna get the autoclicker involved. These are way too long. It doesn't fit. Activez tous toutes les pièces de voix pouvant être dessinées. That's enable all drawable track pieces. They're way too long. Yeah, it's a wordy language. Now, if you do Japanese, where is it? Oh, that's still too long? I assume that ... means too long. How is it too long in Japanese? To be fair, these Japanese characters are massive. In English, it's all very nice and short. You know, let's keep it at English. Although I do wonder, in Dutch, what did they make of... Has that been translated already? No, it still says guests entertained. That has not been translated yet. There's a Dutch streamer I watch. He says something like Fodoma, which is no idea what he's saying. Fodoma, I don't know. Because it's the easiest to translate Japanese. And not with the other two alphabets they use. So it's just a more wordy kind of set of characters. Yeah, there go the canals. Oh, we are now getting a lot of guests and they're not really leaving quickly, so... That means we do need to build more stuff to accommodate them. Although, what is our soft guest cap? You know what, let's just keep that on. Oh, it's 1394. That's higher than I expected. We're doing quite well in terms of soft guest cap. Do we have like awards? Yes, best gentle ride. Hey, that worked. Okay, so the ducks are arriving and immediately leaving. Japanese use fewer characters for words, but they need to be larger to compensate for greater amount of detail, so the average word length is still pretty long. Oh, like that. Yeah, no, of course, that makes sense. No more French. Now we're gonna go to Dutch. Daar gaan de eenden. Laten we een staande achtbaan bouwen. For quite a few people that sounded completely normal. For all the other people it was like, what on earth is he on about? What languages are in OpenRCT2 anyway? Oh, a lot. Basically, there's a very good chance that every single language that is spoken currently in this Twitch chat is available in OpenRCT2. Because it's an awful lot. There's Arabic, Catalan, apparently, wow. Chinese, simplified and traditional. Sestina, I don't even know what that is. Danish, German, English, English simplified, Esperanto, Spanish, French, Canadian French, Gallego, whatever that is, Italian, Japanese, Korean, Hungarian, Dutch, Norwegian, Polish, Brazilian Portuguese, Russian, Finnish, Swedish, Turkish, Ukrainian, Vietnamese. Czech and Galician. What is Galician? It's a Romance language spoken in Spain. Why is that in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2? How many people speak Galician and don't also speak like Spanish or English? Surely that's just got to be a hobby project from someone who was like, I want that to be in the game. And did that. Surely that's only one person. As I think it's the case for quite a few languages. Like, I think it's a positive that's in the game, of course. I'm just wondering why. Aren't the Galicians really nationalistic and don't want to speak Spanish? Yes. Well, I shouldn't say yes because I don't know. But let's assume yes. I still don't think there are many Galicians who don't speak Spanish, even if that's the case. Because it's really inconvenient to not be able to speak Spanish if you live in Spain. So if you grow up in Spain, then I think it's going to be really hard to not learn Spanish. Are schools in Spanish or Galician actually? In Galicia, I don't know. Actually, I shouldn't say all this stuff with so much, so much confidence, because I'm kind of just assuming, based on what makes sense to me. If you stick to living only in your region, it's not that impossible. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. I don't see why Galician schools wouldn't teach in the Galician language. I mean, I don't know, Spain. Maybe they just enforce that Spanish is used in every school. Because that happens. Not necessarily in Spain, but in some countries do that. I don't think that's necessarily unreasonable for me to assume that that could be the case. There are international schools in Spain that just teach in English. You underestimate the stubbornness of the English expat. Fair. That's why I said I shouldn't talk about it with so much confidence, because I don't know. Ooh, wait a minute. Quarter helix down, baby. Hey, the tittiest park in the country. Hang on. That's better. That blue. Speed that up a bit. And let's see how it does. Nice corkscrew. Double loop. And it's finished. The lift hill sound is in 7/8. I swear. Someone could probably make a beat out of this. Someone probably has made a beat out of that at some point. Okay, how many guests have already left the park? Ah, about 500. We've got 500 more missions than guests in park. Actually, we started with a bunch as well in the park, so that's even more that have left. I've heard the English language is the hardest thing to learn if you're not English. No. I mean, it depends on how close your language is to English. Like, Dutch is quite close to English as far as world languages go. So for me it was relatively easy, like much easier than Japanese would be. Oh, we got a crooked highs available. Well, that one cannot break down. Which means that we can get away with not doing an exit line. Look, Marcel forgot an exit path. No! You missed the joke there. Oh, yeah, I did notice your misspelling of heard. Then I kind of skimmed the rest of the message and didn't see all the other misspellings. The guests are simply going to converge back onto the path as they walk around randomly, right? Well, doesn't matter where they walk. There's a path on 3 sides, and the other side they can't go because there's an exit building there. So, yes. Like that one. They could go either way, but whichever direction they go, it's a path. I've heard that Hungarian is pretty much impossible to get fluent if you weren't taught it as a child. Maybe in terms of Western European people, because it's a Uralic language, it's not related to Germanic or like any kind of Proto-Indo-European languages. But maybe if you speak Finnish, which is also a Uralic language. Like, I have a hard time just saying it's impossible to do that, or pretty much impossible. Like, if you're 20 and you move to Hungary and live there for 30 years, only speak Hungarian, then I think you got a pretty good shot at being very fluent. Also, what counts as fluency? Am I fluent in English? Like, for this specific thing? Because do you mean with fluent that you also can't hear the accent of where you grew up? That you sound like a native? Because I don't sound like a native. I have a Dutch accent on. So I don't sound like a BBC English speaker. That was probably not a good impression because I can't do impressions very well. But if you mean that, you know, if you count me as being fluent, then I would wager it's complete bullshit that you can't be fluent in Hungarian if you didn't grow up there. Because that just sounds like... that just makes no sense. Of course you can learn the language. Maybe not the accent and all the exact pronunciations, but I don't have that for English and I'm fluent in English. I think fluent means you can correctly guess the definitions of words you haven't heard before. That is a weird definition. Because if you come at me with a random name of a plant, then I wouldn't know that it's a plant if I haven't heard of it. Could be an animal for all I know. I mean, depends a bit on the name, sometimes it's obvious, but you know what I mean? There are loads of Dutch words that I don't know of, that I don't know what they mean. And can't guess. Actually, according to your definition, no one is fluent in any language. Because there are always very hyper-specific terms that you don't know and can't just guess. I'd imagine context clues are important to understanding the definition of new words. Yeah, I mean, sometimes, if you're a new word you haven't heard of, it's obvious from context. I would say probably most of the time. But sometimes it also isn't. I mean, for fluency, we got the whole A1 through C2 system, right? Which... let's see. Common European Framework of Reference for Languages. So, you start with A1. Can understand and use familiar everyday expressions and very basic phrases aimed at the satisfaction of needs of a concrete type. Can introduce themselves to others, can ask and answer questions about personal details like where they live, people they know and things they have, and can interact in a simple way provided the other person talks slowly and clearly and is prepared to help. That's A1. That's already that you speak the language a bit. C1 is kind of when you're actually fluent. So can understand a wide range of demanding longer clauses and recognize implicit meaning. Can express ideas fluently and spontaneously without much obvious searching for expressions. Can use language flexibly and effectively for social, academic and professional purposes. Can produce clear, well-structured, detailed text on complex subjects, showing controlled use of organizational patterns, connectors and cohesive devices. And C2 is... like, quite a lot of people are not C2 in their native language. Can understand with ease virtually everything heard or read. Can summarize information from different spoken and written sources, reconstructing arguments and accounts in a coherent presentation. Can express themselves spontaneously, very fluently and precisely, differentiating finer shades of meaning even in the most complex situations. I don't know if I think I'm between C1 and C2 in English and probably C2 in Dutch. I'm quite decent with language, and you know, I'm very highly educated as well. But C1 I think is like proper fluency. But it also depends, right? Because if you've just gotten like B2, then you're gonna feel very fluent. Although compared to a native speaker, it's still not as great. Is my mom fluent in English? I wouldn't say so. It's on the border. I think she's gonna be a B2. Maybe a B1, somewhere on the border. But she can definitely make herself understood most of the time. What language do you think the guests speak? They don't speak. They only think. Oh, we actually have quite a lot of money. Yeah, we do have 2 awards available, that helps a lot. You know what? I'm going to make all the rides free. Because we don't need all this cash. And I no longer want to get people out as quickly as possible. We do actually need to get to the 10,000 guests. 10,000, 3,000. Yeah, we'll still charge for the photos. Was already free. I think they're all free now. This one, yes. Alright. How about a reverser coaster? I've always hated how annoying it is to decorate on desert maps, mostly since there's no nature to decorate with and all you get is 2 cacti and some generic Egypt stuff. To be fair, in most deserts there's not a lot. I mean, kind of desert cities exist, but, you know, deserts are kind of known for being bare. I agree with you though. You can still do like flower beds and ponds and stuff like that. And you know, if you do like sections of dirt or grass, you can still put these kind of trees there. You can put statues. You can do a lot of fence work. You can still make all kinds of buildings. You can do quite a lot actually. Kind of the most thing you can't really, or you can, but that doesn't look as nice, natural, is trees. You have the Wild West theme as well. Well, I don't. It exists, but I don't have it. The mining theme can work. I mean, literally, it's here. This is from Southern Sands, I believe. It's Corsair and Rough. Are we doing a Star Wars joke? Will it make this? I think the mining theme is good in any sort of environment. I don't think it quite works on the checkerboard pattern. That's not going to be very mining theme friendly. Also, ice? I mean, maybe a little bit, but I don't think it really works in ice. Like, this shoddy hut just doesn't, this stuff just doesn't look like it would work well in snowy ice. Snowy cabin, yeah, but these aren't snowy. I never checked whether it actually makes this. I got distracted because I have ADHD. I'm not diagnosed, but I'm not sure if I actually have it. I don't think I do, but sometimes I do be having some symptoms that are similar. Never heard of the checkerboard mines. No, if I'm honest, I haven't. Would you care to introduce me? I wish Chris Sawyer added tumbleweed to our CT. I mean, if you imagine that ducks are tumbleweed, then you can have tumbleweed. They mine for bishops. Is that effective? Or is that like mining for coal where it just quickly, well not quickly, but it eventually runs out? Or is it sustainable? I suck at building underground. Can you do a YouTube video about that? What's there to say? Like you open up a... You make a vertical wall, you go underground, and then... You just build as if you're above ground. You dodge stuff that's already there and... Well... That's it. So I'm not really sure how to explain how to build underground. Guess it's a bit harder to see, but that's just a thing of getting used to. You got no ground as a reference and no support as a reference. I kind of get it, but... You know, you gotta practice. You gotta have your... that one. You gotta have your height markers on, that helps a ton. But those are on automatically anyway if you build up and down. So that shouldn't really be an issue. A reverser goes without the titular track piece. Whoops. yeah. I just completely forgot. It's got 0.6 for excitement. It's getting a times 8, but divided by 8 penalty. Let's fix that, shall we? There we go, that's a better. That's a crazy stat penalty. It's not the worst though. Because the worst stat penalty goes to this. Go to test it. There, 0.00 excitement rating. It's just 0. If you build a chairlift with one station, you're getting 0.00 excitement. Not that the other stats are particularly high. But still. That's a laundry carousel. No, it's a wildly exciting chairlift. Don't you understand? Okay, so this guy is probably going to be stuck for quite a while. Oh, actually, he got lucky. But he's standing there blocking any space for anyone else to queue most of the time. And then he's only able to, you know, get in briefly, see if anyone else wants to join him, which happened. But then he gets out again because that one is going, it didn't accept him. Because they always go in pairs. Oh, you're staring at the Sphinx's arse. You bloody pervert. You know what we do with perverts, right? We feed them to the ducks. An almost perfect chairlift. Only 2 station pieces would be perfect. The problem with the 2 station piece chairlift is that it never ends. It just doesn't stop. You need at least 3 stations for it to ever stop again. See, most of the time this guy is waiting outside where no one else can join him in the queue. Now, there was briefly an opportunity for other guests, but most of the time that opportunity isn't there, and that's why it's gonna often take a long time. Yeah. Guest number 1173 is going to be stuck for a while. The timing got to be precisely right, and then the guest also wants to go. There first needs to be a guest, and then the guest actually wants to go in a very brief period. Ah, there we go. That worked. Oh, you even took a bloody picture of a sphinx's ass. Did you zoom in on her butthole? Yeah, I see you doing that. To the pond with you. They just get straight out after entering the station. Well, the reason they get out again is because they can only board in pairs. If one tries to board on their own, but there's no one to board with, then they get yeeted out again. They can't go on it. That's what's happening here. Theoretically, you'll never complain about queuing too long for the chainlift. I do believe the queue counter does not increase for the person in front. You also can't pick them up. It's a weird position. Like, some things work, others don't. It's a very weird combination of queuing and idling. Let's build a dinghy slide. Why do they do the little cheer and jump? I don't believe that's related to excitement at all. I think it's related to possibly satisfaction. Hang on, we can check that. So, is there a jump? Yes. If they have over 80 energy... Oh wait, this is in mazes. Whoops. Let's see. On, exit, right. Favorite, happiness target, blah, 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 blah. Should go on right again. That's already increased. I really liked right. Okay, that's when they think the right was great. I think that might be associated with the jump, actually. Because they see whether there's an action type associated. Okay, where is this beep to action map? Let's just search for that. And I think that might make them jump. Oh, that's in here? Ah. Is this it? Yeah, beep thought to action flag. Hang on, so if we do great. I can't really find it. Well, that's probably where the jump comes from. And let's see, guests really like the ride. When did they really like the ride? If they got more than 215 happiness, less than 120 nausea. Ride does need to have ratings. It cannot have above 10 intensity. Oh, and then it's just true. Okay, so if they're just really happy. Well, that worked. Let's do our dinghy use slide. See, that's why analyzing code live on stream is sometimes a bit difficult, because while I am positive that I can understand basically anything in the code at this point, sometimes it might take a while to get to the correct space, which is not always that interesting to watch. That's why the videos are better than watching me for 8 hours trying to understand something. So if the ride is not too intense, the guest is happy and isn't nauseated. Yeah, basically. One up, one more time. Will it crash there? No, it won't. And if it does, then meh. If it happens, you know. That's how we deal with that in the business here. Good old merry-go-round music, eh? Okay, let's follow it and see if it crashes. Whee! God, that goes quite fast. That would be terrifying. Looks to be safe though. Okay, I'm gonna make the entrance cheaper so that people that only have 40 bucks don't immediately leave the park. I'm also gonna make our food and drinks cheaper. Alright, see ya, Grecker. You know what, let's for once actually research roller coasters. Which we haven't done yet in this scenario. We've only researched other stuff. Yeah, go click on some scams. Go take those penis enlargement pills. Even if you're a lady, just to see what happens. Do we get any new awards? Yes, best roller coasters. Neat. That will definitely help. Why is there no one on the Boats? Is it just unpopular? Yes, it's just unpopular. Still got 2 excitement though. Let's do another cola roaster. How about a spinning wild mouse? To be fair, I do think we kind of have more rides than guests can supply, so a lot of rides are just gonna be quite empty. There's just not enough guests to go around for all of them rides. And the park is getting reasonably full, although here there's still a big space. And I guess we could just build it. Yeah. Wild mouse can carry hantavirus. Well, you know, what's wrong with another pandemic? What's hantavirus anyway? I heard about it once and that's it. Yeah, I don't really know either. I heard about it and I thought, well, that's probably gonna be something like all the other ones that didn't turn into a pandemic. And didn't do any further research. Worst foot in the country? How though? Because I have like a decent amount of foot stalls. Well, not really here, I guess, but there's not many guests there anyway. What do we need for worst foot in the country? Let's have a look, shall we? Worst food. Let's see, we check for... Okay, we can't have best food at the same time, but we didn't have that. Shops, unique shops, shop types. Okay, so here we count total amount of shops, here we count unique shops. If unique shops is bigger than 2, return false. We have 4 unique shops. What? Oh, specifically food. Drink don't count. Yeah, we don't only have 2 different food stalls. We need to have more than 15 hungry peeps. And we need to have more than 1 shop per 256 guests. How many food shops do we have? I think 3. Yeah, we needed 6 for that to happen. We don't have 3 different kinds of food stall, but I can add more food stalls. I don't know why I assumed it would also be drink. I kind of just thought it was a combination of food and drink. I mean, what counts as unique is a really easy question. Just different here, different. So, in terms of roller coaster, it's not like you can have 2 different... Well, there are different food stalls that sell the same item, but they are still unique. But you can't have like a food stall and then change something about it. It will always sell the same thing. You can't have like a twister coaster with Florida trains, twister coaster with stand-up trains. That's not a thing you can do with food. Does having multiple photo sections matter? That question is like error. Because you can't even build multiple photo sections. Did you change it to research stalls? No, but we don't need to. We just need to build enough stalls. Then we also can't get it. Okay, how fast does this thing go? Lol, 74 kilometers an hour in this flimsy little cart. I wouldn't like that. How fast was it going on that final turn? I did not pay attention. Might be too fast. Yes. Just slightly. No problemo. Brakes. No, wait, not 57. That's for small turns. 53. That's good enough for tiny turns. That is our wild mouse. Have we researched the roller coaster yet? No, we're going to get our first soon, which is a steel wild mouse. As if we don't have already something that's very similar to that. You can't have multiple photo sections. I could have sworn you showed the coaster in the background footage of one of your videos with 10 photo sections in a row. Yes! You're right. Let me load it up for you. Filming parks. Mega Park. Ignore that. There it is. It's called the Celebrity Experience. It's also called cheating. There are 8 in a row, I think. 9 in a row. But yeah, I just cheated that in. So, you know, tile inspector. You copy it. And you paste it. And now we got another one. That's how that works. So, yeah. You can do it. It makes no difference if you cheat, but without cheats you can't. Also, the speed it was going at was cheated too. Like, if we're going for decorating desert maps, this is, of course, something you can very much do. It'll still work the same. Same as adding, like, fountains and stuff. Tuddly duddly 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 duh. Giraffe. Behind the dolphin fountain. Make desert map go green. Can you do that? No. We do not have the funds for that. While we're not exactly poor, making the desert green would be X to the pensive. Probably wager like 200k. I have like a fun challenge though. How fast can you green the desert? I do have a challenge. How fast can I become a millionaire? I mean, as in that's on my video ideas list. Don't know when it's ever going to get made because that video ideas list is only growing. Even though I am making videos off of it. Although with the flying and laydown coaster overview nearly finished, I can soon cross 2 off. It just makes that chain lift. Well, actually, I think I can even do... Maybe I can even do this. Will it still make it? No. I think that will make it, though. No, also not. Okay, we'll just do this then. I think the park rating bottoms out at 0. Well. Yes. Kind of. So, in OpenRST2, yes, there's nothing you can do about it. But, in the original game, first the rating gets calculated, and then it gets clamped to between 0 and 999. But the rating actually has a limit. Like, it's assigned 16-bit integer in the original game, which means that it goes from between minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. That means that if you can get it below minus 32,768 before it gets clamped, then it will loop all the way back to the maximum possible 32,000 something, which will obviously be clamped to 999. Now, going to minus 32,000 seems very far away. But it's possible. You can beat Amity Airfield without anything if you just advertise. Make sure everyone's lost. You get like 4,500. For every guest that's lost, you lose 7. 4,500 times 7 is basically minus 32,000. And getting 4,500 in 4 years from advertising, with obviously no one leaving the park because you're all trapping them, making them get lost, that's totally doable. In fact, someone called Z-Lux, if I remember correctly, made a video about that. They discovered it, I didn't. I mean, part of the reason I didn't is because I play OpenRST2, so where it's fixed, so I wasn't really in the place to do it. They did it in Classic, where it works too. But yeah, no, that totally works. So the park rating can go negative. It's just that you need to make it go really negative before you see it. This does not look safe. That looks a bit too close together. Name a rally of your choice. What do you want to name? Twaddle. So that means mass murder is best possible park rating. No. Because the penalty for mass murder is capped at minus 1,000. It's only the lost guest penalty that doesn't have a cap. Name it Infinicoaster. Alrighty. It won't quite be infinite. Probably be like a minute and a half. But you know. In the grand scale of things, what's the difference between a minute and infinity? A minute can certainly feel like infinity if you're listening to my high school Dutch teacher. Suddenly, it's quiet. that doesn't quite fit. No exit paths at all. I mean, if you want to trap people, just, you know, remove everything and put a no entry sign in front of the entrance. It's very easy. You know, I'll show you. You simply open up empty airfield. And I'll quickly use the cheat never ending marketing campaigns, because that makes it a bit faster to demonstrate. You open up empty airfield, do a no entry sign. Charge a fair bit for here so that you make enough money to refresh the ads. Then you do advertisement, 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 and you fast forward. And then if we go to inspect park rating, you see the park rating go down and down and down and down. Damn, that's a lot of lag for the fact that we only have 1,000 guests. I guess it's because they all want to go home, then they can look more junctions ahead, which costs more to calculate. But you know, you just let this run for a while. And you can easily get enough guests in 4 years to do this. Would RCT be improved if someone's happiness was too low? They'll ignore do no enter signs. There's a lot of things you could do to rebalance it. And I don't think it will be improved. Maybe more realistic. But I don't think the game would necessarily be better. We're getting even... Oh yeah, one thing. We're getting more guests than I thought. Which is because we're actually running more ads than is possible in vanilla. Because in vanilla you cannot run free entry and half price entry simultaneously. You can only do one or the other. But you can still get enough... How much do you need? So if we go to, let's say 33,000 divided by 7 is 4,714. So let's say 4,700 guests is what we need to go down all the way. Well, we're well on our way already. I do find it interesting. You can see a very big kind of circle of guests where they're walking. But then there's also a couple of guests that are lost here. Which is interesting. Because they can only get lost there if they end up there. But once they want to go home, they don't end up there if they're already on one there. They need to be in a specific place to end up there if they want to go home. Which to me is interesting. We've already crossed the 3,000 guest threshold, which also shows you how powerful advertising is. We only have 3 ads running. There are more available. If you build a stall, if you build a ride, you get ads for that too. And we reached the threshold, if you keep everyone around, well within 2 years. I do wonder if Bossy's plugin, his park rating plugin, can handle numbers below 32,000. Because yeah, currently our park rating is minus 21-ish thousand. Which is quite terrible. But of course we can go lower. And let's keep this open. Minus 22,000. 22.5. Can the park rating underflow in RCT1? If it's still stored in a signed 16-bit integer, then no. I think, hang on. What is 4601 times 7? That is 32,207. That's not high enough. No, the maximum number of guests you can have in RCT1 is 4601. That is not high enough to underflow it, if it's still stored in a signed 16-bit number. So yeah, you can't do that in RCT1. In RCT2 it might be possible. No, not might, is. Not in OpenRCT2. Like what we're doing currently won't work, because OpenRCT2 has fixed the underflow. But in RCT2 and RCT Classic, it totally will, if you got the patience for it. Is this OpenRCT2? Yes. I always play OpenRCT2. You can recognize that by the speed up thing being on the left. Also just by the fact that I'm speeding up at all, because that's an OpenRCT2 thing. Well, Classic as well, but not that can't speed up this much. Also, the cheat icon is also unique to OpenRCT2. There might be more. I don't know exactly which buttons are all here in the vanilla game, but I have a feeling that like one of these is also missing. Maybe the research one or something. The messages one I think doesn't exist. I think you can only get that by pressing on the date, but I'm not sure. Okay, we've hit nearly 30,000 in the red. Did you catch my message about speedrun marathons? You know, one thing I did see, I don't really encourage people DMing me. Or did you DM me? I don't know, was that in the DM? I forget. But very often I get people DMing me. And, you know, just ask me in the public Discord server. I don't have my DMs closed, because sometimes there's legitimate reasons, of course. You know, especially if I do know you well, if we've interacted in public Discord servers for a while. But generally, just, you know, ask it in my server in public. There is one person who keeps DMing me, like 3 more today, and I won't say who it is, of course, but I've never responded. As far as I can remember. I at least haven't responded to like the last 100 messages. It's always about OpenRCT2 or about one of my videos or something like that. Okay, we have passed that point now. Current park rating minus 34,000. Okay, so Bassie's park rating inspector can handle this. But in the original game, right now, we would get a maximum park rating. Because it would underflow. Last 100. Yeah, let's see how many messages it is. So it was like 3 or 4 today. About a flying coaster. Then it was 8 days ago about some ghost train stuff. Then it was 2 weeks before that about guests dropping balloons, which they mean let go. Then it was 3 days before that. Something about Mega World Park in the breakdown video. Then it was linking me an article about my Google coaster. Then it was something about the history of the longest ride. Like, have I responded at some point? Yes, like a few times. That was years ago. That was at the time I still responded to random DMs from people. No, they're not pitching me video ideas. They're kind of just commenting on my videos, basically. The guy keeps spamming your inbox. Why not block them? I mean, it's not really a big deal. It's not like I get 100 messages every day. And I did at some point respond, I see, but that was like 2-3 years ago. But basically, the point is, I'm kind of at a stage right now where I'm kind of big enough that I do get quite a few people that want to talk to me. But also, if it's private messages, then there is a risk to that for me. It's not a very big risk, especially considering I'm a Rollercoaster Tycoon content creator, but, you know, there's still a bit of a risk. When you go private, it's a very, you know, parasocial thing and stuff like that. So if it's just something about the game or anything, just say it in a public server. Could be my own, could be the OpenRST2 Discord server, although if it's about my channel, then my own server is more appropriate. And you can ping me, that's fine. You can either ping me or the Marcel role that I assigned myself, which was just to give me a color and put me at the top of the user list. Just like max parasocial relationship. Well, the times I responded to them, it was also very short answers. It wasn't like we were very friends in any way. Like, occasionally I'll still respond to random DMs. One, which wasn't really random, was someone who did a whole bit about, like, an idea they had for OpenRST2 and wanted my input. But that was more because it wasn't really... They weren't really DMing me as a fan of my channel. They were DMing me as someone who wanted to do something for OpenRST2 and wanted my input on it as an expert on the game. I think we might need more handyman. I see a lot of puke. And that's of course different. So I did respond to that and we had a lovely chat, and they're now have already done quite a bit for OpenRST2. Thank you for being one of the few creators that doesn't monetize or try to take advantage of parasocial relationships, by the way. I did have a Patreon for a bit, if that's... That was years ago. If that's what you mean with monetized parasocial relationships. And kind of Twitch is that anyway. You know, you can subscribe, give me money. The problem with my Patreon, well, at some point I got completely burnt out, wasn't uploading anymore, so I closed it down, because that wasn't really fair. But also, I didn't really know, I wasn't really happy anyway with the perks I gave, because they kind of felt lame. I didn't really know what perks to give. Not talking about that, there are some creators that do stuff like pay me and you can DM me. How? What kind of creators do you watch? Maybe I'm just not exposed to that for the creators I watch, because I don't do Instagram or anything, but I don't remember ever seeing that for any creators I watch. It's a difficult line to walk, right? Because I do like talking to you guys on stream. It's not exactly a complete two-way conversation. It's a bit different, but I do enjoy it. And it's not parasocial when there are certain people that I'm like, ooh, nice that they're in the chat. That's not really parasocial if it goes both ways, is it? But on the other hand, there is still an inherent parasocial aspect to using Twitch in the way I do. Some people are too cynical though, because on Reddit I read that someone said like, well, no Twitch streamer ever cares about you. They just read your messages because they want money. And I'm like, well, I care about people. I mean, it's partially true. Like, yes, I do read messages because that's just what a streamer does, but also there are quite a few people I genuinely care about that are in my chat, that because they've been around for a long time, you know, I value their stuff, their opinions, stuff like that. But you know, it's just a combination. It doesn't mean I never care about anyone. That's just being too cynical. Now, of course, if there's one thing that Reddit and plenty of other internet places are very good at, it is being cynical. So, I'm not really surprised. Just disappointed. Okay, that's connected. Actually, the other side. Oh yeah, I could have done that too. Well, this works. But yeah, other side would have been a little bit easier. I'm a streamer too, but I don't care about money. Because every penny that I earn must be given to the county because I'm on welfare. I mean, that's more reason. That would be more reason to the money. Could just be fame. That would also be a reason to read messages. Now, money and fame is kind of, they go together. When you're talking about that. Common Patreon perks I've seen include early access to content, access to Patreon only content, and pay money, you get your name in the credits. Yeah, so I did the pay money, get your name in the credits bit. I had that. But I don't really think it fits well with my current content style. I could do it, but I also don't really want to. I think it detracts a little bit from the videos. The early access to content thing, I think, is just complete bullshit. Like, currently, I have early access to Tom Scott content, because I have Nebula. So I'm like a week ahead compared to the YouTube videos, but it doesn't really matter. I still got one video new every week. Right? So I don't really care about it. And they're also done a week earlier, so who gives a crap? And Patreon only content, I mean, I have enough, it costs me enough time to do the YouTube content, so doing also Patreon content is a bit daunting. One thing I thought about it, that Patreons could have guests have named after them, because, you know, I always give my guests random names, like celebrities, fictional characters, often YouTubers that I'm thinking about, or stuff like that. That I could do that for Patreon. Hey Max, welcome. Will you get your last videos in the series at some point? Us plebs can still enjoy it for 1 week after that. Yes. But like, I've never got the early access to content bit. On the other hand, if I do the occasional sponsorship, and views are gonna stay roughly steady, then I don't need Patreon. I mean, if views are gonna be like when they were in May, then I won't need sponsorships either, because May was a very, very good month for me. But of course, that is an exception, not the rule. That's not a good position for that. Why don't you build any hacked rides or nice scenery in your park? Nice scenery is kind of just because sometimes I do, but usually I'm more of a ride builder, and hacked rides is because I'm more of a vanilla player. I'm not that much of a cheater. I don't mean cheating as in a bad thing, I just don't tend to play with cheats very much and do crazy stuff. I'm not Dirkling. So I was in an RCT online server and someone told me that speed through inversions doesn't add to intensity. I told him it does matter, but he wouldn't nudge. He was very vocal about his view and I don't get it. He's clearly wrong, right? Okay, so in the most technical sense he's right. Because the game does not keep track of how fast you go through an inversion. Like, at the moment you're going through the inversion, the game knows the speed, of course, but once you're through the inversion, the game doesn't know what speed you went through there anymore. However, if you go through an inversion very fast, then you will get high G-forces. But that only matters if those are the highest. So, if you go through a loop and you get 6 Gs, because you go very fast, but somewhere else you got 7 positive Gs, then the speed you go through that loop with doesn't matter because it's not your highest G-force and only the highest force counts. Therefore, the answer is it depends. And depending on the situation, both of you could be correct. Mr. Nuance. There's always nuance in the game. Okay, what are the stats of this magnificent thing? 7.4 excitement, nice. Doesn't the 0G barrel roll have 0G forces? They have laterals and pressure positive ones too. So if I drop a coaster from 50 meters into a tiny looping, it won't matter if somewhere else is the highest Gs. Yes. I find it funny that you were incredibly confident and wrong. But you at least had the presence of mind to ask someone who knows about it. Me, in this case. Lots of people don't have that presence of mind. They just assume that they're right. And don't look it up or ask someone if someone disagrees with them. They're just like, nope, I'm right. Am I the only one that hates it when my HUD is set to 1.5 because it makes the pixels blurry and the game stops being pixel perfect? But some plug-in HUD elements are too big for 2 and 1 is too small. Well, it should be good. Like, there used to be a time where it would be very ugly in like non-integer numbers, but that's been a while since that's been fixed. And I don't really see a blurry thing at 1.5. I think I'm currently at 1. I think I'm currently at 2 actually. At 2.25 even. Yeah, I'm at 2.25. I don't see a problem. This is 2.5 if you want to be exactly in between 2. I'm right and you're wrong, also known as the average Twitter conversation. Or my average comment on the Rollercoaster Tycoon subreddit. Quite a lot of, I think maybe even more than half of all my comments in the Rollercoaster Tycoon subreddit are correcting people or answering questions. But there's a lot of correcting people going on. So yeah, there is a lot of I'm right, you're wrong. Although, of course, if the other person comes with what's it called, evidence, I am willing to look at it. For example, that time Reckless Trish disagreed with me about large scenery making guests more easily think that there is great scenery, think great scenery. I thought it didn't. She said it did. She was right. And that is because they're watching. When they're watching it, they can watch large scenery, like that guy's doing to the Sphinx, and that makes them think the scenery is great. Look, there it is, great scenery. And they can't watch small scenery, so that's why large scenery is more effective. That's the same as someone in the Netherlands saying the Dutch are the best damn speed skates in the whole wild world, and Marcel going, actually, the South Koreans have a fair share of, and then stopped mid-sentence, you just don't get it. Well, I didn't do that. I didn't say you don't get it. I explained it. I'm not sure what you're on about. It was an example. I mean, example of a stupid argument, I guess. The nuh-uh, you wouldn't get it. Is a bit. I mean, sometimes. I mean, there are legitimate reasons where I launch into an explanation. And I'm like, well, actually, they don't have the background to understand this. But then I will say that they don't, but explain why they don't. That was an example of you, the speed skate know-it-all, being told you don't get it. Oh. Oh, getting stopped mid-sentence. I read stopping mid-sentence. Like if I said, actually South Koreans have a fair share of, never mind, you don't get it. If I said that, so I misread your comment. My bad. No, I get it. Lateral G penalty on the final 2 turns incoming. Probably. But the thing is, we can test that and... change it. No, I think we'll be fine, actually. Yeah, we're going only 43. Well, we're fine. Yeah, 2.66 laterals. Easy. Wie niet waagt, wie niet wint. Not 2.67. Also salt gas count. Yeah, we're not gonna finish this today. I think that. Also, I think our guest count is stabilizing. Because guests are leaving because they're poor. Wait, guests aren't spawning. Huh? I thought I saw someone. I think I just left. Why are guests not spawning? Our salt guest cap is high enough. Oh, maybe not anymore because rides broke down. That's easily fixable then. Have I told you about the time I got out-nerded by another Redditor? Maybe, but if you did I wouldn't remember, so sure, go again. No, it's not negative awards, it's just that the soft gas cap was too low. Which is easily fixable by spamming a few rides. See? They're coming again. How many customers had the chairlift had? 96. Doing great. More roller coasters. How about another wooden coaster? Hang on, can we buy land? Yes. Not really have the cash for it though, but there's plenty of land to buy. Some people were discussing speed skating on Reddit and one guy was like, yeah, but the Swedish guy clearly is Dutch, look at his name. Niels van der Poel. Well, his granddad was Dutch and he immigrated to Sweden. No, he isn't Dutch, not everyone with a Dutch sounding name is gonna be Dutch. And someone replied to me, well, actually, I played the granddad card. You didn't get out-nerded, someone was just stupid. I mean, what I mean is, when you said out-nerded, I thought you were gonna be like, well, someone just knew more intricate, obscure details about some topic. That's what I imagined when you used the term out-nerded. But, yeah, no, they're wrong. Because Niels van der Poel doesn't speak Dutch, doesn't know anything about the Netherlands more than any other Swedish speed skater that skates races here would. How you got an extra level of zoom in? Play OpenRST2. Boing. Boing. Oh, I love doing that. You mean as much as the 0 other Swedish speed skaters? Hey, we got Finn Sakrisson, who's 16, I believe. And we got, from a very long time ago, Tommy Gustafsson, Johnny Nilsson, more recent Johan Reuler, and Joel Eriksson. On the female side, we got Paulina Wallin. So, geography question. not geography, but how soft is the salt gas cap on the most hardness scale? That's not geography, so I'm not answering that question. Also harder than your mom. I'm an OpenRT2, but the most I can zoom is around what the screen is at now. Are you on a recent version? Because in older versions, if you're using software, you don't get them. But I believe, yeah, you do get them now on software. So, are you using an older version and software rendering? Hang on. Water splash time. Are you using display capture? Yes. It's really useful if I need to show something on the internet. I don't need to switch scenes. Could never worry about sensitive stuff going on the screen. It happened. Once my WhatsApp accidentally showed up on the screen. I just deleted that VOD and edited it out of the VOD I uploaded to YouTube. My email address is also shown on the stream, like my private one. But I just never mentioned it, and I blurred it in the VOD I uploaded to YouTube. And so far no one seems to know it. Way more sensitive stuff, like banking info. I mean, I'm very careful with that. I only have my internet open on my left screen, which is the other screen. I sometimes drag one over. This is where I calculated what the RCT1 minimum park rating would be. If I open Google Maps, it's always in incognito mode. I did once buy something on stream. I had to enter my banking details, but I was incredibly careful around that. What if your 2 terabyte porn collection randomly pops up? I mean, I'd gladly share that with you. It's all Roller Coaster Tycoon based. Do tracked rides get the bonus for going through a canyon between 2 ground walls? Yes. I'm not sure if it needs to be a canyon, but at least like a wall on one side does help. Think you're the bit, Slimmons. So, Waluigi, what's your speed skating trivia question? In the middle of goddamn May. May is the quietest month for speed skating. May and June. Very, very occasionally you already get at the end of June a competition. But in May, almost never. There are like a handful that's ever been held in May. Maybe 10. I was scrolling through Wikipedia last night and I found the Asian speed skater turning out from Hungary. That's Min Sok Kim. How the hell did that happen? Oh, that's interesting. So Min Sok Kim is a South Korean speed skater. Well, a speed skater from South Korea, who no longer skates for South Korea because he got expelled from the South Korean Skating Federation, is no longer allowed to skate for his country. So he decided to skate for Hungary instead, because Hungary would have him. That happened because a few years ago, he was in a drunk driving accident, and he was the drunk driver. It wasn't a terrible accident, it was on a parking lot against like a fence or something. But still, he drunk drove and he got banished from the Federation for 2 years, I think. By the South Korean Skating Federation. But then after those 2 years were over, they were still like, well, you know, we're just not taking you back, you're banned for life. Then he was like, well, I'll just go somewhere else then, I guess. And he went to Hungary. Who would have him? So it's quite a simple story. But he got a very hefty punishment for driving drunk. Even though nothing really happened. Like, no big damage. And the damage there was only a bit of material damage. Hungary shouldn't have taken him either. Drunk driving kills people. On one hand, yes. On the other hand, he had already been banned for 2 years. Like, he didn't kill or hurt anyone. He took a big risk, yes, but I don't believe in punishing people for stuff like that for a very long time. It's a stupid thing, he shouldn't have done it, of course. He should be punished for it, but he was punished for it. And the thing is also, you say drive drunk, go to jail. I get the sentiment, but if you do that with everyone who drives drunk, then you're gonna end up with way too many people in jail who don't really belong in jail. Because if someone is in jail, they can't contribute to the society. It's very expensive. And you're gonna hurt a lot of people. And yes, if you drive drunk, you take the risk of killing people or hurting people. So while it may feel right to send everyone who drives drunk to people, you might end up hurting more people that way. Because of course only a very small minority of people who do that actually kill someone. But if you send them all to prison, then you might suddenly have a wife and children who don't have an income. Now those children are screwed. And when those people get out, they will have, of course, a bit of trouble reintegrating, because you always do. Which increases the chance for other offenses. I'm not sure. Hang on, let me just Google. I'm kind of interested. What happens if you're driving under the influence in the Netherlands? So, I'll just translate a bit for you. Okay, it depends on a whole bunch of things. I mean, alcohol, what kind of vehicle, whether you have shorter or longer than 5 years your license, first time, medicine, if you cooperate, if you're doing dangerous things, whether you've done an accident. Okay, so there's at least always a fine, which is a minimal 300 bucks if you're in a car. You get, you're forbidden from driving for a little while, usually at least a few hours to make sure you're sober again, but sometimes 2 months. You always get a rap sheet. Which means sometimes it can be harder to get a job. This is based on how much is in your blood. If you have at least 0.81 promille, which is like percent but per 1,000 instead of per 100, then, so 80 per 1,000, then you get a 4-month ban from driving. And a fine. Well, oh, that's only if you're starting. It's just a fine if you're, like me, more than 5 years or already have your driving license. That's quite light, I would say. Oh, there's a different thing if you have a lot of alcohol, which is more than 1.3 per 1,000. And then you get like a custom thing and they can put you on a course about alcohol and risks. And your driving license will be invalid for a long time, months often. And the judge can give you, make you work for a bit or give you even jail time. Which, you know, the worse you do, the worse the punishment is going to get. How far do you need to give a lifetime driving? I'm not sure if that exists in the Netherlands. Bigger coaster type permissible. Max, could you, if you'd like, refund general reactions channel point reward? Because it's too late to do another pick your coaster type. Alright, thank you, Max. Okay, now the question is, are we gonna get excessive lateral Gs here? Didn't know you could refund people's channel point reward. Yeah, we sometimes do that if, like, for this, at the very end of the stream, they request something like that, or if there's some other reason I can't do it. You know, if I have a channel point reward open for something that's just not applicable in that stream or something like that. Okay, that's already too fast. We're just going too fast through the entire thing. I'm just going to lower this. That should be better. Yeah, those final turns would have been a problem too. Alright, that's going to be it for me for today. We didn't quite finish it, but we're well on our way, and we're going to finish it next time and also do something else, because this is not going to take another entire stream to finish. So, I want to thank you for watching me play Southern Pacific Dunes, which I think is a hilarious name for a scenario. I want to thank I'm Legos for creating it. They're not here, but yeah, thank you anyway. Let's rate the Scream Tree, who I thought they were playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, but it seems like they're doing something else. Last time I rated someone who did not have, you need to follow to do comments, which is lame. Didn't check. Okay, we'll rate Anxious Sheep instead, who's doing Classic, Forest Frontiers in Classic. Hey, thank you for the 2 months, Malwerful. That's a mispronunciation and a half probably. Right, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time on Sunday. And I bid thee a good and of course a bye. See ya. Sleep tight.